Hey WordPressers! Today I'll show you what reviews will make you stand out as compelling and trustworthy. Imagine you're at a huge farmer's market looking for a jar of organic pickles. If you ask any of the stall owners, they'll all claim that their pickles are the best, right? But if a friend of yours tells you that the lady in the straw hat sells the most delicious ones, you'll skip looking around and buy your pickles from the lady in the straw hat. In our previous video, we discussed how 9 in 10 people trust user reviews as much as they trust recommendations made by their own family and friends. This is why showing social proof in promotional emails, on landing pages, in product websites, or in your checkout is such a common practice, because it works.
So how in fact do you use these reviews to communicate a specific message with your audience?
Number 1, identify your key message. The awesome power of reviews and testimonials does lie in that they are written by an unbiased third party. But even though someone else will be writing them for you, you need to make sure that you get your message across. Determine exactly what message you want to convey so you know which reviews to include and which to leave out. The curated selection you end up with will eventually reflect the genuine opinions of people outside your organization. But it must also communicate a message you want your audience to believe. This review, for example, emphasizes how easy Ocean WP themes are to customize and complements their documentation. Some of the reasons you may want to convey these messages to begin with include getting more installs when launching a new product, overcoming some bad reputation caused by a bug you just fixed, getting people to subscribe to your newsletter, or informing users of a feature you want them to use more often. If you don't know what message to convey, take a look at what your audience is complaining about. This can be found on your support tickets, bad reviews, or forums. Another great thing is to look through your competitors' user complaints. Based on the information you find, you can address the problems that are troubling 80% of your audience, find a solution, and get someone to write a review saying how amazingly well you've done it. 2. Get people to speak up. Once you know what you want users to know about your business or product, you'll need a testimonial that communicates your key message. This can be done either by selecting reviews that shed some light on the value you want to promote, or by reaching out to users asking them to write a testimonial for you about a specific problem that was resolved by your product or a feature that benefited them.
Hi, would you mind writing a review focused on how you've experienced the special feature we've given you support on?
If you reach out to users, don't assume they'll naturally emphasize the aspects of the product you want them to. They also won't typically spend a ton of time writing the review, so one way of getting what you need is by sending them an example of a previous review you're satisfied with, or by writing the review for them and saying,
Hi. If you're busy and don't have time to write a full review from scratch, here's a short template you can start with to help you out. Copy, paste, send.
Whether a user is writing a new review or you're just selecting one from your existing reviews, compelling reviews are usually more detailed than just saying, hey, 5 stars, awesome plugin. This doesn't mean reviews need to be long, but they should mention at least one benefit that's unique to your offering, and you get extra points if you can emphasize something that you do better than your competition. A format that I find particularly effective in making reviews sound specific includes the main reason the reviewer has installed the plugin or theme to begin with, at least one problem it solved, and the value they get from it on a day-to-day basis. Look at the review for this giveaways plugin. It highlights details about how easy it was to set up, how it solved the GDPR compliance problem for the customer, and the amazing customer support that was provided. Mentioning these details in a review also makes it sound extremely sincere, bringing me to my next point. Make sure the review feels authentic. This gives certain advantage to reviews posted on third-party websites or platforms like Facebook, Twitter, or the WordPress.org repository because you as the product owner have no control over what's posted. If you want to give the impression of being voluntarily embraced by your audience, you can ask people to put their feedback on these platforms when you ask them for a review. However, showing reviews and testimonials on your own website has also proven to convert more visitors into users. One way of achieving authenticity on your web pages is by showing the reviewer's name, position in the organization they work for, and their profile picture. Doing this will reinforce the impression that these are real people. This is also why reviews by experts and influencers who are known to your audience have an added value at convincing users of the authenticity of your product and presenting your offering as valuable and trustworthy. Finally, once you've identified your key message, curated some specific and authentic reviews, it's time to use them. Putting testimonials on a company's homepage is one common way of making the brand a lot more trustworthy in the eyes of users right up front. Landing pages further allow you to target a narrow subset of your general audience. Another place you should consider displaying testimonials is on your pricing page. When selling an expensive WordPress plugin or theme, the endorsement of a testimonial can alleviate the fear of skeptics that don't want to be ripped off. People are typically hesitant to give you their email addresses, especially if they don't know your brand yet. So 2 common ways to overcome skeptical newcomers are have a lead magnet, such as a free ebook or a checklist, or one hell of a glowing testimonial. That's all for today, folks. If you find this information helpful, you might want to check out some of our videos. I put 2 in the comments that are related to this topic. As always, stay tuned for our upcoming videos. Feel free to subscribe and tap that notification bell to get an update on further releases. See you next time.